Hey guys, this is Rosreal12 and I'm back, and I am enjoying this game. For the faint of heart. Yes, I am enjoying this part of the game. Because it's fun! Freaking awesome! Look at that! I'm like throwing guys left and right. Bam! Boom! I only have one gun, but who cares? This is the only gun I need. Freaking awesome. Feels like, feels so good. Oh.
Well, Dr. Freeman, under other circumstances, I like to think we might have been able to work together in an atmosphere of mutual trust and respect. Certainly, judging from your brief tenure at Black Mesa while I was its administrator, you showed every promise of becoming a valuable and productive contributor to the scientific process. And yet, I'm not sure what spurred you to it. But there is really no place in this enterprise for a rogue physicist.
You see, and this is cool. This is cool that he's coming to talk to me. But he's coming to talk to me from a window. If he was talking to me while I was walking, like Portal, you're going through parts where you're paying more attention to the game and to like what the game is saying, which does not happen in this game because he's throwing story at you when you're stopped. You can't move away, and if you do, you miss story, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to miss story, because after all, this is what you want. You want story. So being able to have story while you walk is awesome. And this is exactly the problem with this game. It stops you to tell you the story. And they learned this. Valve learned this beautifully when they made Portal. They got it right. They knew what they were doing. After all, Portal is this masterpiece. In my opinion, like one of the best games, if not the best game ever. It is just a bunch of creative genius, and it's paced out perfectly. Why? Because GLaDOS is telling you story as you go. It's not stopping you to tell you story. The story is with the moving around. Something you don't get here. You see, we're stopped. We're walking and there's nothing happening story-wise. I'm just going from point A to point B. Should not happen. Should not happen.
Your mentors are partly
See, we're stopped
blame.
again.
Of course, my disappointment in Eli Vance and Isaac Kleiner is far greater than my sorrow over your unfortunate choice of career path. In a way, I suppose you could not have done otherwise. Who knows what seeds of iconoclasm they planted when you were young and gullible, but while they certainly share a great part of the responsibility for the recent troubles, it is you alone who have chosen to act with such willful disregard for humanity's future.
And Portal is such like an example to this that I'm saying, because they learned it so much that there is no one else in Portal. It's just you. There are no other characters in the whole game except for you. Like people you interact with, like, well, you have weekly, but if you consider that like personal interaction, then it's like, it isn't really. So yeah, they just did a marvelous job with Portal. No wonder it's like one of my favorite games. It's perfectly made. The story is everywhere. It never stops telling its story, and I think that's one of the awesome parts of games. You are experiencing the story, and that is why you can't stop experiencing the story, because you're in it. If there is no story, if you're just walking without, and it doesn't add anything to the experience, what is the point? There is no point. Feels like a final area. Where? Oh, that's not fun. But yeah, so that's my little rant on this game, and why I think it's not good. It has good story. It has a really awesome story, but it just fails in the telling of it, which is the game. The story can be great in a book. It can be great in a movie. But both in the book and in the movie, it's the execution that counts so much, even more so in a game. And not having that in the game destroys it, because then there's nothing to it. You take the experience out of the game, what's left? Sure, a movie. But then you take, but it's not a movie because there's so many parts where nothing is happening. And movies are short exactly for that. They don't include these parts where you're in between events, because they don't fit there. The people are not interested in that.
Tell me, Dr. Freeman, if you can. You have destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not.
See, again, he could be saying this to me while I go up in that elevator. He could have been saying this to me. And it would make the elevator ride a lot more interesting. And here, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of my point of view on this, about this game. Which everyone says is great. It is great, but it has like major flaws. It's super innovative. It's like completely new. It's creative. But it just fails at some points, which are critical to making a video game. And as I said, they learned, so it's not a problem that continued, because they learned from their errors. And even though it wasn't an error, people saw it as an improvement, because this was the new standard back then.
I have laid the foundation for humanity's survival. And not as we have narrowly defined ourselves, but as something greater than we could ever imagine. Something we can now only begin to glimpse.
So you end up not getting connected with the characters so much because they stop you every time. Well, they should do it as you do things, because that's how real life is. People don't stop to tell you things. Things happen with other things. And I will continue next time because I forgot to set the timer again. Thanks for watching.